This story is about a young girl who gets her dreams torn away from her in a little room called the Queen Study that turns into her prison. We make our way to the second floor of the Queen's Castle, where the current Queen Mother walks this young girl down the vast corridor and turns into a short hall. Only one brown door with a gold border stands at the end of this hall. The Queen Mother stands in front of the door and turns the knob. It swings open on its hinges, and the smell of dust clings to the air. When she turns on the light, it reveals a quaint study with high-arched ceilings. Shelves full of books cover the back wall. A medium-sized desk sits in front of them, and scaling up the walls on the left and right are framed portraits of all the past queens that ruled this land. The Queen Mother told the young girl to gaze at these portraits, at the legacy they are meant to uphold. She told the girl that this was their sole purpose. The only reason they live such a luxurious life and have the best quality of things is for the sole purpose of fulfilling the destiny of being queen and ruling over the dominion. The young girl looked up at all of the portraits. She noticed that some of the queens have small smiles, while others had more serious expressions. But as she looked closely at their rigid shoulders and stiff necks, she couldn't help but feel that even though they were surrounded by luxuries in this beautiful castle, they're still in a cage, no matter how pretty the cage. The young girl starts to panic as the portraits of the queens swirl all around her. They were all different women, but their lives were the same. They lived and died on the throne, and the young girl couldn't help the tears that burned in the back of her throat as the portraits foretold her future and sealed her fate. She shook her head and told the Queen Mother, no, she didn't want to be queen. The Queen Mother glared down at her, a stone-cold expression on her face. She asks the young girl, then what would she rather be? A commoner? The young girl said no, and with her voice barely above a tremble, she stated that she wanted to be a performer, a lost souls performer, one of the greatest magical circus troupes in the world. The room becomes deafeningly silent as Queen Mother stares down at her. Then, in a fit of rage, Queen Mother grabs her by the arm and roars how she was an ungrateful girl. She wrenches the girl's body and makes her look at all of the portraits on the walls. Do you think the people are just going to let you walk away from this? Walk away from your duties? Everything we've sacrificed for you, only for you to spit in our faces to become a mindless circus act. Queen Mother looked like a ball of fury as she asked if the young girl thought she was just going to sit back and become a laughingstock amongst her subjects for raising a clown. Queen Mother then drags her to the desk and pushes her down into the chair. The young girl cowers away as Queen Mother looms over her. She tells her that she wouldn't be leaving this room until she's learned all of the struggles that the past queens had to endure for her to have the privilege of sitting in that very seat. Then she turns around and storms out of the study, locking the door behind her with a click. The young girl sat in stunned silence, the smell of old paper and dust lingering in her lungs. Her body trembles uncontrollably, and the tears stream down her face as fear and regret come rushing into her body. The young girl gets up from her seat and rushes for the entrance, crying out an apology through the closed door. Her pleas turn to hiccups as she cries out that she's sorry and she does want to be queen. But there was no reply. She bangs on the door until her hands turn red and her throat begins to ache. And as the minutes tick by into hours, the realization begins to sink in that no one was coming.